just to begin with, in the previous 9, in one of the shlokas, we discussed that there is one important aspect of meditation. The first and foremost requirement for meditation is that one must be yoga rudaha, right? That means they should have the ability and they must have already practiced how to control the senses, which are taking us in different directions. Like I may want to, for example, now I may be hungry. Maybe I did not eat from last 2 days. I'm just hypothetical. People feed me well. Let's say if I did not eat from last 2 days, while sitting in this class, maybe I may feel lot of hunger, and hunger is also a kind of sense, but it is more of a sense that hits the emotions of the mind. I might probably be driven towards thoughts, because that leads to thoughts of what am I going to eat next? When will this session get over? How fast can I go to the kitchen and grab something up next? What am I going to grab? Will it be juicy? Will it be dry? Will it be nice and crispy? See, all these thoughts will start coming. And while I'm speaking these words, I'm 100% sure at least once you might have thought about food, isn't it? This is the nature of mind. Why? You are not having anything. You don't have any hunger, but just listening to something about food for long, you can easily reflect upon it. This is the nature of mind. One has to control that, and only then he can be called as yoga arudaha. Arudaha means older, a veteran, a matured person. Yoga arudaha, one who has been implementing yoga. Yoga in the sense unification. Unification with what? Unification with the thoughts about Paramatma and nothing else. Anything else is supposed to be stepping aside. That kind of a mentality is yoga rudaha, and that's a prerequisite criteria for starting meditation. But uncle, what if we don't know meditation? Then what can we do? I mean, if we are not at that stage of controlling our senses, what we should do then? Bhagavan has already given us, right? Arurikshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate. Which means what? If you are not a yoga rudaha, if you think that you want to become a yoga rudaha, you want to be that person, morally you want to incline yourself towards that situation, then, and if you sincerely accept that you are not at that maturity level right now, okay, don't worry about it. Start doing karma yoga is what he's saying. And we all know by now, we have repeated this 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter. We have repeated multiple times what is karma yoga. Performing the rightful actions as an offering to the Lord, and behaving as if you are merely a tool in his hands, not accepting any of the results closer to your heart, right? Treating the results as is, as a prasada, as a gift of Lord, and generously sharing the effects of that gift across the society, not only with human beings, but plants, animals, anything that come in contact with you. Share the love and joy that you have received from God. This is karma yoga, right? Not having any ego or ownership on the activities or the result. That is karma yoga. And when person performs with such a great mentality and attitude, all these activities will have to be successful and will provide the best results. This is karma yoga. Bhagavan is saying, if you cannot meditate, don't worry. Keep doing karma yoga, not only once in a day or once in a week, but almost every moment, which means while sleeping, while talking to someone, while eating, while playing, while competing in the examination, while performing something on the stage, while talking to friends, while helping parents, while opening your eyes, while closing your eyes, while breathing, any moment, pick that activity, what you are doing, as the rightful duty of yours, and do what? Offer it as a service to the Lord. You will be blessed with the beautiful gifts after that. Share that generously across the society. This is karma yoga. Now, once we know what is karma yoga, what else we should do now? We should keep practicing it. Once we keep practicing karma yoga, what Bhagavan said? Bhagavan said that slowly you will evolve into a situation or a state of mind where it will become stronger, it will become calm, it will become disciplined, because now it does not hit your ego. See, most of the distractions of the mind come from where? Come from the interests that we carry from the past. Now, slowly, if we start disregarding those interests will lack their value. And so when they do not exist, what will happen is the mind will just become calm. And in that calm mind only, one can control the senses or the agitations of the mind. And once you are at that stage, you obviously are termed as Yoga Rudaha. For Yoga Rudaha, these are the practices that one has to follow. Now you may ask a question. Uncle, I want to meditate. Okay. I love meditation. I enjoy the concept of meditation. I I cannot do the whole day, but at least I want to really enjoy that experience once in a day for few seconds, for few minutes, for few hours. Can I do that? The answer is, if there is a strong desire to perform meditation, it is okay to attempt. But you cannot attempt randomly as you want or what you see on YouTube or somewhere else. Follow the directions that are given by the Shastras and try to implement that rather than rediscovering something and getting lost into wrong ways of meditating and blaming that meditation does not work. People say meditation brings mental peace, but I did everything. I am not getting. Well, did you do as per the Shastras? If not, then try implementing as per Shastras and see if it really helps. Where is it written in Shastras? What are Shastras? Shastras are nothing but our scriptures. Maharshis have written this, right? So where is it written about meditation? Well, you don't have to go anywhere else. Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 is all about meditation. And so we continue with the 10th verse. The other quality of a meditator is that a good meditator will have show no difference between objects of senses. For everything, like for example, a gold metal and a stone or a nice shiny pebble will all look similar to such a person. He will not give priority, he or she will not give priority to one over the other. That is the quality of a meditator. Okay. The second thing is, from a relationship standpoint, we have seen so many. Suhrun. What is Suhrun? One who is very close to your heart. Mitran, friend of yours. Udasina, one who does not care about you at all. Madhyastha, one who is a negotiator, a broker, or an agent between you and the other person to bring them together, right? Such a person, Madhyastha. Then Dveshya, one who always hates you. Whatever you do, good or bad, that person will always hate you. Such a person. Bandhuhu, the relative of yours, right? Then Sadhu, one who is generously serving the society, not caring anything, taking anything back for himself or herself. Such a person, Sadhu, with all good and sane qualities. Papeshu, one who is a sinner. That means one who is working on a selfish mode in this world. And so all of these people, all these different kinds of people that you come across in your regular day-to-day life. I know when I speak these words, you may be thinking of the closest person that come in contact with you. All these relationships, all these different kinds of people that come in contact with you, if you are able to see them equally in the sense what? Not giving extra priority to one and not hating the other person. You hate me, I hate you. It should be like, you hate me, I love you. You are my relative, I love you. I treat all of you the same. I have the same affection and the same gratitude and same kind of a understanding about you, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to show any kind of discrepancy in that, misbalance in that. Just because you hate me, I don't want to show you down. Just because you are my closest relative, I don't want to give you a priority higher. This kind of an attitude is shown by a greatest meditator. Okay. And then we saw Kutastaha. Kutastaha means what? One who is focused on to one point. Kutaha means what? One point, focal point. You know what is focus? In camera, you know the focus, right? What is focus means? That means your camera is actually pointing clearly to one point, that is focus, right? So Kutastaha means that focus, having that keen focus onto Supreme Lord and having no deviations from that. Well, will the deviations come? Obviously, yes, it will come, right? So when you are doing something good, like for example, if you're practicing Sheetal, if you're practicing for a dance, because you can connect well with that, you may get some, distracting chatting messages or friends calling you up and things like that. Now, there is always a possibility to deviate, isn't it? But do you deviate? You do deviate. See, that is exactly what happened. That means that deviation is not Kutastaha. Kutastaha means what? And we have taken this example of anvil. You know what is an anvil, Gautam? What is anvil? A heavy thing. Now, if you go to a blacksmith store, you will see that anvil lying on the floor, and then it doesn't move at all. It is so heavy that it doesn't move at all. And all the tools that he makes, like swords, knives, sickle, and even some like plates, bending plates, and all that, the blacksmith will be doing that by hitting the metal on with a hammer or something, isn't it? But for hitting, he needs some stable base that does not move. What if the base moves constantly? He will not be able to achieve his results. He will not be able to achieve the best tool that he wants to create. So the anvil should not move. Only then the outcome will be perfect. Similarly, our focus should not move. Like how you get distracted, you said, Sheetal, that if it is moving, then the outcome becomes, you want to make sword, it will become a bangle or something, or it will become something else which is not useful at all. Similarly, our efforts will not provide better results. So to have the better results, our focus should be very, very keen and should not be distracted. Okay, Kutastha Lakshana. That is also very important for meditation. Now let's go into 10th one. Hi Krititali, good evening, Kana.
Good evening, Uncle.
Right. Can you repeat after me, Nana?
Yeah.
You guys can also repeat. Anyway, you're not audible to the mic. Okay? Yogi yunjita satatam.
Yogi yunjita satatam.
Atmanam rahasi sthitaha.
Atmanam rahasi sitaha.
Ekaki yata chittatma.
Ekakiyat chittatma.
Nirashira parigraha.
Nirashira parigraha.
Very good, Talli. Shall we repeat once again? Yogi yunjita satatam.
Yogi yunjita satatam.
Atmanam rahasi sthitaha.
Atmanam rahasi sitaha.
Ekaki yata chittatma.
Ekakiyat chittatma.
Nirashira parigraha.
Nirasira parigraha.
Very good. Anshu, can we do full line, Tali? Yogi yunjita satatam. Atmanam rahasi sthitaha.
Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi stita
Ekaki yata chittatma. Nirashira parigraha.
ekakiyata chittatma nirashira parigraha.
A yogi, meditator, how he behaves in the society. First of all, we need to understand, because, and it does not mean in any way that everybody should start behaving like this going forward. We may have interest to become a meditator, but we have to be a karma yogi first. If you are not karma yogi, then doing all of this will not yield any results. Along with being a karma yogi, all these can be practiced. That's the first point. Now, second point, yogi yunjita satatam. Yunjita means constantly applying it in practice. Okay, constantly applying it in practice. What is that it? It is satatam atmanam. So satatam is always focusing on to one Lord, one supreme power, able to see that supreme power everywhere, and hence being called as focused onto that. Why? So if you ask me, focused onto something, right? I can focus onto a light source. Okay. Now satatam, yogi yunjita satatam is not about focusing onto a particular spot or a particular object or a particular form. For example, a godly form like Krishna, Rama, altar. We have different altars at home in the puja room, focusing on that. That is not the criteria here. The idea is, even if you rotate your head somewhere, because you have that constant focus on Paramatma, on Lord, you will see his presence in whatever you are seeing. You will see his presence in whatever you are hearing. You will see his presence in whatever you are eating and chanting, speaking. You will see his presence in whatever you are smelling. You will see his presence in whatever you are touching. This is called as focus. And this exactly is called as yogi. Such a person can only be called as a yogi. Yogi yunjita satatam. Next, atmanam. He is focused on the Paramatma, and rahasi sthitaha. He is secluded. What does it mean? Secluded means it's separated out, right? Somewhere. He is completely isolated. Sthitaha means is situated in an isolation, which means what? See, these are the misinterpretations of meditation. It means what? It means that you are not in touch with anybody. Isn't it? You are not in touch with anybody. Now, my uncle, you are not in touch with anybody. That means what I should do? I should go to Himalaya, create a small hut there and live there. So I am not in touch with anybody. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have TikTok. I don't have any devices. So I'm not in touch with anybody. No, that is not what it means. That is what most of the people have misinterpreted Bhagavad Gita and have moved away from this world somewhere, understanding it in a different way. However, the mighty Lord did not want it to say that. If we understand the following verses, you will come to that. But for now, let us understand that the person who really wants to meditate upon, first criteria, the first thing that person does is secludes himself or herself from the rest. Isolates himself or herself from the rest. This is the first prerequisite. We will see what does that really mean. Again, in the second line, Paramatma says, Ekaki yata chitta atma. Ekaki. He is all alone. This can be interpreted in multiple ways. All alone means, okay, he is not together with others. He will not have friends. That's one way to interpret that. The other way to interpret it is as Ekaki means I am the sole power. If Pavan wants something, it is in Pavan. He is not dependent on anybody, nor someone can influence him in any way. That is Ekaki. Ekaki means I have everything that I am dependent upon. I depend on source of energy. I depend on interest. I depend on passion. I depend on devotion. I depend on nurturing myself. I depend on knowledge. Everything is in me. I am by myself. This is the feeling of Ekaki. Ekaki does not mean that I will stop going to my guru next. I will stop talking to my friends. That is not ekaki. Ekaki means I don't have any dependency on anybody else. I don't need anybody. To be that yogi, to be that satatam yata chitta atma. Yata chitta atma is the one who is controlling all the senses. Not only that, the chitta itself, the super repository that we have that captures all these experiences, I am the boss of it. I will decide what goes in there, what stays in there. For an experience that I don't want to go in, like for example, I might have been appreciated for my efforts at office, and I might have been rewarded, significantly. I don't want to keep that excitement in my experience because it is not only because of me. It is because of my parents, my teachers, my friends, my colleagues, my managers, my subordinates, and the prevailing situations, right? Everything lined up together to have this possible. How come I take the credit all alone? So I don't want to keep that experience as the greatest thing that I have achieved. Though people are wording it like that, I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it as my experience. I don't want to retain it and then keep enjoying and lamenting on it. I don't want to do that. So I decide what goes in there into my experience. That kind of a control, it's very, very hard, but that kind of a control is one who, to have that also, one must always decide that I am the boss of everything. I am the boss of myself. I have everything in me. I have the power. I have the ability to stop. I have the ability to start anything. So if with that kind of a super control, only one can become a good meditator. So ekaki means being self-dependent, nothing else. Okay. And then nirashir. Nirashi means, asha means what? Asha means hope. Nirasha means don't think hopelessness. Nirashir means not expecting anything from anyone. That exactly is what ekaki also. That's why Bhagavad Gita, when we read, we have to read verses together, words together. So the correct interpretation comes. If you read only ekaki, focus only on that word, it means that, okay, you are just isolated. So go to Himalayas and then stay there. Ekaki nirashi. You don't have any expectations. That's why you are ekaki. You have everything in you. That's why you are ekaki. Okay. So nirashir aparigraha. There is nothing that is going to impact you. Right? Now, all of these qualities are the qualities of a pure yogi. Now, after reading this, there are many interpretations where people say, okay, I'm going to like go alone. Physically, I will stay alone somewhere and then I will not come back. But that's not what is hinted in Bhagavad Gita. How do we know that? Let us see what other things that we have to do first while doing meditation. For the first meditation is seclude yourself. Seclude yourself in the sense, I will not spill the beans right now. We will go through the next verses where we will discuss. But secluding means not being part of the party. What does that mean? What is being part of the party? That means you contribute to the party, right? You contribute to the party, you feel it's your party, and you enjoy everything that's happening in the party, right? And you get impacted because of that also. Which means what? I go to my friends, they are gossiping about somebody. I will put one more gossip into the discussion. Okay, I'm hearing some gossips back. I will enjoy that gossip. I will say, you tell me, what is your experience? More I want to know about gossips. This is being part of the party. Ekaki means secluding yourself out. Understood? Secluding means what? You may be present there, but you're not contributing to it. You are merely a listener. It comes, it goes. That's it. You are an observer of what is happening, but you are not a participant. You are not judging based on what is being discussed. You are not taking any decisions based on the discussion there. Why? because you are dependent on yourself. You don't have dependency on any information that is coming. You don't want to process that because you know that you have all the information available. You don't need any more. But that does not mean you stop being with people, mingling with people, understanding their perspective. Listening is not bad. Listening is very important, right? Even if it is a gossip. That's what, right? Sama loshtha ashma kanchana. The gold, the stone, the pebble should all be the same. The good, the bad, the ugly. The one who hates you, the relative of yours, the one who is a broker, everybody should be same for you. That's what it means. You don't judge on anybody based on what they are talking or what they are bringing to your notice. Such is the person. Such is this yogi. That's the first quality of a good meditator. If we are not doing that and we call ourselves as meditator, we are sure to be called as hypocrites, which means doing something and saying something else. To be a good meditator, one has to become a good listener and understand everybody's perspective as same, and not react to anything. The second thing, now let's go to the 11th and see 11th verse. What does it tell about a good meditator? These are all the steps to prepare us to be a good meditator. 11th, let us see what it says. Hi Krishna, good morning. Since you are here, can you chant after me?
Yeah, sure, sir. Good morning. Yeah.
Shuchau deshe pratisthapya
Shuchau deshe pratishthapya
sthiramasanam atmanah
sthiramasanam atmanah
natyuchritam nati neecham
natyuchritam nati neecham
chailajina kushottaram.
chailajina kushottaram.
Let's try to do the full line now. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanam
Shuchau deshe pratishthapya sthiramasanam atmanah
natyuchritam nati neecham chailajina kushottaram.
Natyuchritam nati neecham chailajina kushottaram.
First thing about our surroundings, how the surroundings should look like. When a meditator is trying to focus on to the Supreme Lord, the only thing that will distract him, first distractions do not come from the mind. First distractions come from the body and the senses. Okay? The sequence of disturbance that is expected or that is anticipated by a meditator impacting his meditation is first the body, then the mind, then the intellect, in that sequence. Okay? And perfection also happens in the same sequence. Body gets perfect first, then the mind gets perfect, then the intellect, and finally the focus happens, right? Then the meditation really works out. So, because the first distraction is the body, Bhagavan is trying to hint us what could be the causes of distraction and how you can prevent it. So for a meditation, to be a good meditator, to perform meditation, Bhagavan says that here is, though it looks like an exercise, don't take it as an exercise. This is just a practice. See, what happens is we go to gym to build the muscle. Once the muscle is built to the right shape and structure and strength, all the activities we do in our daily life, for example, I may be lifting a rice bag, helping somebody, these muscles will still be active. I am not exactly doing the same exercise as I do in the gym, but I am prepared to do anything that I have already done in the gym through my daily life. So meditation is basically can be done in a way secluded at a place, you practice that at that place, and then start using the effects of it when you go into the world. Just like how you practice something in the gym and then use that strength and the learning that the muscle has gained in the rest of the world when you go out and help the society. Similarly, here also, Bhagavan says, when we are doing meditation, the first thing is to have a clean environment. Shuchau deshe. The place where we are meditating will have to be clean. Clean means what? Not having dirt. What is dirt? If you understand what is dirt, dirt could be a bad thing that my eyes cannot tolerate. Dirt is different for different people. If you ask cockroach, what is dirt for you? It will not say the drainage. That's the beautiful place. That is a swarga for it. Why? It gets everything there. So it's a swarga for cockroach. For us, it is dirt. A drain is a dirt for us, isn't it? So depending on our gunas, what distracts us is the dirt. What distracts my eyes, what distracts my ears, what distracts my skin, my feeling, my touches, what distracts me from focusing on something that's dirt. Shuchau deshe means please do not allow such dirt around you. For example, if I am a teenager of this generation, what is the first thing that will distract me? Any guess? There are a lot of teenagers here. What will be the first thing that will distract me from studying Bhagavad Gita? Tell me. A lot of teenagers. Anshutali, can you take a guess?
Maybe like other people, like friends.
But friends are not there in your house, wherever you're sitting. Shuchau deshe, in your spot, what is the first thing that will distract you? Gautam, what is the first thing that distracts you in your place? No idea? Your devices. Do you have your devices by your side? Your phones? That is the first thing that will distract you. Why? A small notification will come. Beautiful, right? Push notifications, great feature. It comes with a beautiful tweet sound also. And when it comes, the first thing you will do is your ear reacts to it and goes towards it. And then whatever happens later becomes secondary. Whatever is happening becomes secondary. So this distraction, please understand, all are related that we are studying here. That is the first. So that is dirt. Shuchau deshe, remove the devices from your surroundings if you want to do meditation. If you want to do puja, if you want to focus on Paramatma, put the distraction away. What is distracting me? For example, food. Any sweets, keep it away. Don't let them come nearby anywhere. The place where I do should not have that entity. What else? What else? Phone myself. I'm also an addict of phone sometimes. Right? Keep the phone out, or at least shut it off. Unless I have the ability to control it. Shut it off. Throw it off. This is the first thing. Shuchau deshe means that whatever is the dirt that distracts me from my ability to focus, that is my dirt. My dirt need not be your dirt. My noise may not be your noise. I may be tuned. If some chanting is happening in the surroundings, I might focus my attention towards there and less attention towards my reading. Right? So when you know what distracts you, removing that is called as keeping your place clean. Keeping your place clean and not just putting some nice solution in water, warm water, putting making it nice shiny surface. Everything smells so good. You are in the middle of like a beautiful room where there is not even a single piece of a paper or anything lying here and there. It's pretty. That is okay. That is neat. Okay, but that not be the neatness that's being considered here. Shuchau deshe means all the dirt that causes the distraction to the senses has to be avoided. Now, there are people, for them, a neat room or an untidy room does not make any difference. For such a person, if you just clean the room, that will not be sufficient. That is what is to be understood. So, Shuchau Deshe, Pratisthapya, there you have to sit. And then, Sthiram Asanam Atmanam. What is Sthiram Asanam? Seated. You should be seated without movement. Now, seated without movement means what? Put a seat belt. Or my legs are paining, but still I will sit because in Bhagavad Gita it is Sthiram Asanam. I will not get up. Sthitaha means what? Situated. Asanam means what? Where you are seated. Seated is a very, it's a word where people can understand it in different ways. Seated means where your attention is, let the attention do not move from where it is there. For example, I am here, I'm seated, right? I may be looking at the altar in the background. Now that is my focus. Imagine my guru, right? If I just move my attention somewhere, I'm just moving up, I'm going to the table to grab my Bhagavad Gita, but my focus should still be on my guru. If that is happening, which means I'm still seated in my guru, my thoughts are seated in him. Sthiramasanam can be understood that way also. You don't have to really sit at one place, but for meditation, it is also told that not to make too many movements, because when you make movements, what will happen? It will bring more thoughts into the mind. Movements cause thoughts directly. You move to another room, you will get new thoughts. Try it out. You go to a puja room, there will be new thoughts that will come. You go to a bathroom, you'll be a new thought. You go to a bedroom, you'll get a new thought. You'll go to a living room with a TV running, you'll get a new thought. The thoughts will come based on your movements. If you restrict your movements, then obviously there is a possibility of focusing on something. That's one thing. Next. Na ati uchritam, na ati nicham. Don't seat yourself too high. Don't seat yourself too low. Because what happens when you're seated too high on a branch of a tree, some air will come, nice wind gust will come, and you'll fall down, hurt yourself. What if you are seated too low on the ground? Something will come and bite you. Simple logic. But spiritually also, seating too high is getting lost. When you are thinking too much about something, you don't have focus. At the same time, not being able to think anything about that will also not bring your focus. So you have to have the right balance between thinking too much versus not thinking anything at all. Okay. So you have to to focus, you need to have that desire. That desire is also a thought. Please remember that. If I want to pray with full devotion to my Lord, I still have to do with my own equipment, my mouth, my chanting, my hands, my gestures, my body language. It has to align, which is all Sharira. So if I have to do that, then there has to be something that drives this. That something is nothing but a thought in me, isn't it? So how can I say a thoughtless person can only meditate? There has to be something. Now, Shuchau Deshe Pratisthapya Sthiram Asanam Atmanah Na Ati Uchritam Na Ati Nicham Chailajina Kushottaram. This is there is a kusha, there is a grass called as kusha, right? The beauty of that grass is that it creates a kind of smell that keeps all the insects and other things away. So that is why in olden days, they used to have this grass underneath the skin of the deer, and then they used to sit on it. Skin of the deer also has the ability to repel all the insects or all the harmful insects like scorpions, biting ones that actually distract you from what you do. Because the first distraction comes from the body, right? Something bites you, you are lost. So these kind of things are not good when you're meditating. Of course, if I put some sugar around me, if the area is not clean, there is sugar, obviously ants will come. And because I am there, they will also try to taste me. What am I looking like? Isn't it? So it's always good to, when you are meditating, first keep the place clean. right? Don't seat too high or too low. And this can be physically also done. Don't think only spiritually. Physically also, keep the place clean. Focus on Lord. Do not try to overly, seat too high or too low. Be comfortable in wherever you're sitting. Maybe a small cushion is good enough, right? And also, if possible, try to keep the distractions from the insects and bugs away in a very simple way. That way also you can understand how to start meditating, because these are all the causes behind the distractions. Okay. But once you start doing this and start meditating, you will know the spiritual impact of it. How spiritually you can say na ati nicham and na ati uchritam. Let's move on to, do we have time? We have 8 more minutes. I think Pranavi had to leave. She might have left already. Okay. So the next one is verse 12. We will chant verse 12, and if possible, we'll go through, because these are related and how to meditate. Okay. Harika Tali, will you be able to chant today, or you're in the listening mode?
Booklet, bhaiya. So half lines I can do, not the full.
Tatraikagram
Tatraikagram
manah krutva
manah krutva
yata chittendriya kriyaha
yata chitrendra krik
yata chittendriya kriyaha
kriyaha
upavishyasane yunjyat yogam atma vishuddhaye. Good, Tali. Anshu, will you be able to repeat, Nana? Tatraikagram manah krutva
Tatraikagram manah krutva
yata chittendriya kriyaha
yata chittendriya kriyaha
upavishyasane yunjyat
upavishyasane yunjyad
yogamatma vishuddhaye.
yogamatma vishuddhaye.
Why do we do yoga? All this is good. Sitting at a place not so high, not so low, in a place that is clean from dirt and noise, secluded, all alone, everything is fine. Why are we doing this, first of all? Why? Never we thought, okay, meditation everybody wants to do, so we are doing. Why we do meditation? What is the purpose of it? The purpose of meditation, if you don't know, then we will be lost. If it is only to keep you healthy, then we should not rely on meditation. We should go for a jogging or something. Meditation is not only for keeping one healthy spiritually, but also, of course, not mentally, but also spiritually. Right? How does that matter? Right? Let's see. The answer is in this particular verse. Tatra, after doing all of this, you have a nice seat arranged. You have all distractions avoided. Even the insects that might come and hurt you, you have kept necessary precautions to keep them away. Kusha grass, everything, you have everything there. Now, when you are focusing, now after that, you have to do something. What is that something? You have to put your complete attention into the highest spiritual power that only exists. The only spiritual power that exists is Him, the mighty Lord. Everything else is just a derivative of that source, or a user of that source, giving a different reflection, saying that I am Pavan, saying that I am your Guru, saying that I am somebody, saying that I am Krishna, I am Rama, saying that I am your puja room, saying that I am your instrument. All these are reflections of Him. but the Supreme Lord is just one. Focusing on that is the ultimate job during meditation. Now, when you are doing that, you need what? Tatra ekagrata, right? So you need to have the single point focused onto that Supreme Lord. Tatra ekagrata manaha. So you are putting your mind. Mind is we already know, mind is a factory of emotions and thoughts. Keeping all those distractions away and focusing onto one, right? So that is the first thing. Do that. And then yata chitta indriya kriyaha. That means controlling all the sensory distractions. My nose, my ears, my eyes, my skin, my tongue. These may take me away from my core work that I'm doing, focusing on my Lord, arresting them not to do so. Upavishyasane, seated, as if you are seated next to him. Yunjyat yogam atma vishuddhaye. When you do yoga, when you do meditation, at that spot in this manner, keeping your environment in such a way, only in that case, something happens. And that something is called as Atma Shuddhi or Chitta Shuddhi. What will happen is, I will lose the context of my Chitta, which means what? I will lose the context of all my experiences so far. I will forget that I am a successful person. I will forget that I had a failure yesterday. I will forget that a lot of friends are dependent upon me. I will forget that I am the only person who can do a particular job. These kind of experiences that I have gained will be wiped off, because in his presence, when I'm focused with all the senses distracted, arrested, not distracted, arrested, and seated in his presence, focusing only on him, there is no me. There is no my experience. And if I can practice every day, even for a minute second, to keep my experiences away, that practice is just like a gym. You go to a gym, practice, help the muscle learn how to load and lift the highest weight there. Tomorrow, if somebody is falling down, you can just hold that person single-handedly and you can lift him on your shoulder and walk any number of miles, because the muscle already has this memory. So if your meditation is also like that, the moment I stop thinking about myself, unregistering myself, my experiences, it will become my part of living. I will behave like that on my day-to-day basis. And such a person who is behaving without any experiences, captured, with no emotions, with no ego, is none other than Paramatma himself. If somebody can meditate throughout the day, that is none other than Paramatma. So the only thing is, how close we go to that stage depends on how much we do constantly this practice of losing myself. That is meditation all about. And so it is said that when you do meditation, what happens is the Shuddhi of the Chitta, which means what? Clearing of all your experiences and desires that are inherent, that we don't know. Subtly they exist. Desire is something which I want. I want to eat, I want to dance, I want to sing, right? This is my direct desire. But what is making me do that? The experience of the past is my vasana, is my subtle desire in the Chitta. Where is it there? It is in my Chitta. It is strongly captured in my Chitta. That gets wiped off. And when it gets wiped off, I become a clean slate. That situation when you are a clean slate is nothing but meditation. And so it's important how we meditate, when we meditate, what do we do to meditate, how we prepare ourselves to meditate. These are all the various steps we need to be careful about. Okay. All right. So 10, 11, 12, and going forward, there are more to come. We'll see that in the next sessions. But those are the steps for becoming a good meditator. Okay. We'll see more. For today, this should be sufficient. And we'll close with the closing prayers, seeking good health for all. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. See you all. Have a good rest of the week. Stay healthy. Stay joyful. We'll meet again next weekend. Next Saturday, it may not be possible. I will tell you on Friday or Thursday. We have a Sampurna Ramayana Saptah coming next week. It actually started today. I have to leave now after this. So next Saturday, it will be concluding. So I don't know if there are any planned activities in the morning. If there are any planned activities that I have to contribute to at Chinmaya Mission, I may not be available for the session. But otherwise, if it is not there, we'll make it. But I'll let you know on Thursday how it looks like. Okay. Thank you so much. See you all. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Bye, uncle.
Bye.
How to talk to Kriti? Kriti.
Bye, Anai.
Kriti. Kriti. Kriti.
Bye.